So the way you discuss Chevy engines from Ford engines is completely different. Whereas Ford has used the engine families since the beginning of time, Chevy has really perfected the small block engine. So they originally came out with the small block in 1954 to replace, they were using the inline six for most of their history. And then when they switched to the small block V8, they had five different brands all making small blocks and big blocks with the exception of Pontiac, who just made one block. But really how you identify a Chevy engine is you just refer to the cubic inch displacement and the block size. So for example, you just say 350 small block. You might even just say 409. You might say 427 big block. Now, all the different engines have, their own differences between the Oldsmobile, the Cadillac, the Buicks. Every different brand, Chevy and Pontiac, had their own different way of, identifying their own vehicles. But at the end of the day, a lot of them just came down to numbers. So Pontiac, for example, had a 455, but it wasn't the same as the Buick 455. The Buick 455 was actually a big block. The Pontiac was not a big block. Oldsmobile had a 455 in the Hearst. And, Cadillac had a wide variety. Cadillac mostly used big blocks until they went to the corporate engines. So that is really the biggest difference is Chevy doesn't have like engine families. Chevy's more about the model, and a lot of the engines are very streamlined. They don't say something like in a Ford engine, you'd say, oh, that has a Cleveland 351C, or that has a Windsor 351W. With Chevy, there's not the differentiation. If you're talking about a certain brand, everybody knows. Like on a Silverado, everybody knows that the 5.3 is the most popular engine. Now, if you get a 6.2, the newer Chevys, like on the Silverado that you see here, they typically will offer they now offer a 2.7 liter turbocharged engine, but they used to just all naturally aspirated V6, V8, then a bigger version of the V8. But again, they're very simple.